Imagine waking up in a city where millions of people speak dozens of languages. Then, just a few hours later, standing in the middle of a desert. The next day, you could be surrounded by skyscrapers. And after that, snow covered mountains, endless beaches, or a forest so huge it feels untouched by time. This is the United States of America, a country so large, diverse, and culturally influential that it can feel less like one nation and more like an entire world inside a country. But what makes America truly fascinating isn't just its size, it's the people, the stories, the traditions, and the dreams that brought them here. America is home to more than 340 million people, and there is no single way to describe an American. You might meet a New Yorker rushing through Manhattan, a cowboy in Texas, a surfer in California, or a musician in Nashville. Their accents may sound different. Their food, traditions, and lifestyles may be completely different. Yet they share something powerful, a culture built around the idea that you can become something different from where you started. For generations, people have arrived in America searching for opportunity, freedom, safety, or simply a better future. That history has created one of the most diverse societies on Earth, and you can hear that diversity everywhere, in the languages spoken on the streets, the music coming from restaurants, the festivals filling neighborhoods, and especially in the food. Because in America, food isn't just food, it's history on a plate. Think about American food: hamburgers, hot dogs, barbecue, apple pie. But look closer, and the story becomes much more interesting. American cuisine has been shaped by Native American traditions, European settlers, African heritage, Latin American communities, Asian immigrants, and countless other cultures. The same thing happened with American music. Jazz grew from New Orleans. Blues shaped the sound of the Mississippi region. Country music became deeply connected with the American South. Rock and roll changed the world. And later, hip hop transformed global popular culture. American movies, television, fashion, technology, and sports have also traveled far beyond the country's borders. But perhaps the best way to experience American culture isn't through a screen, it's through a celebration. And few celebrations are more American than the 4th of July. Every year on July 4th, cities and towns across the country fill with fireworks, concerts, parades, barbecues, and enormous gatherings. The date celebrates the Declaration of Independence in 1776, the moment when the 13 American colonies declared their independence from Great Britain. But America's calendar is filled with other major events too. Thanksgiving brings families together around enormous meals, with turkey, stuffing, and pumpkin pie often taking center stage. Halloween transforms neighborhoods into strange and creative worlds of costumes and decorations. And then there is one event that can almost stop the country in its tracks: the Super Bowl. Millions of people gather around televisions, stadiums, parties, and restaurants to watch American football's biggest game. And surprisingly, the game itself isn't always the only thing people are waiting for. The halftime show and the commercials have become cultural events of their own. But if you want to understand the scale of America, you need to see it. Start in New York City. Here, towering skyscrapers rise above streets filled with people from almost every corner of the world. There's Times Square, Central Park, the Statue of Liberty, and an energy that seems to continue long after midnight. But travel west, and America changes completely. Welcome to the Grand Canyon. Millions of years of geological history are written into its enormous cliffs. Standing at the edge, it's easy to understand why some places don't need words. Then there's Yellowstone National Park. Geysers erupt, wild animals roam, and beneath the beautiful landscape is one of the world's most active volcanic systems. But America's natural wonders don't stop there. In California, Yosemite offers giant granite cliffs and waterfalls. In Alaska, enormous glaciers and wild landscapes stretch far beyond the horizon. And in Hawaii, volcanic landscapes meet tropical beaches in the middle of the Pacific. Then there's another side of America, one built not by nature, but by human ambition. Los Angeles became synonymous with Hollywood and the global film industry. San Francisco is famous for its steep streets, Golden Gate Bridge, and history of innovation. Washington, D.C. tells another story. Here, monuments, museums, and government buildings reflect the political history of the nation. And perhaps that's what makes traveling across America so fascinating. You aren't simply changing locations. You're moving between different chapters of the country's story. America is difficult to summarize in just a few minutes because America isn't one landscape, it isn't one accent, it isn't one tradition. It's millions of people, countless cultures, enormous cities, small towns, powerful stories, spectacular nature, and generations of dreams, all existing within the same borders. From the streets of New York to the silence of the Grand Canyon, from the music of New Orleans to the mountains of Alaska, America constantly reminds us of one thing. Sometimes, the best way to understand a country isn't to ask what it is, it's to ask what it could become. And perhaps that's the most American story of all.